He's the three-time Pro Bowler, and he is back on the Rich Eisen Show. I haven't spoken to him since April. Pleased to have you back, Matt Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing great, Rich. Thanks for having me on.
2-0. Not too shabby, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, so far so good. So far so good. We got a long way to go, but it's been a good start for us.
So what is the difference? Can you tell me what, if you could pinpoint it, what's the, other than obviously the actual record, but what could you pinpoint as a difference so far?
You know what? I think the biggest thing is in critical situations when it's time to win a game, we've made the plays the first 2 weeks. And that was something we haven't really done the last 2 years. We've had opportunities. We've been in close games the last 2 years, but we just haven't been able to close them out. In these last 2 weeks, when the game's been on the line, we've been able to step up and make the plays and finish games. And that's kind of been Dan Quinn's focus since we got here, was to finish everything we do. And we've done a good job of that so far.
How do you mean that's been his focus? What do you mean by that?
Just, whether it be our workouts, our off-season workouts, our OTAs, during practice, whatever, every day he was, on us to finish stronger than we started, and would push us to do that, and was very vocal about it. And I think guys have bought into that, and hopefully that becomes the culture here, and that we finish everything we do.
And it causes you to what? Have more of a calmness when the moment arises, or something like that?
I think so. I think I think the key to finishing is to just continue to do your job correctly longer than the other guys, right? And so you just got to keep hammering away and keep doing it right every snap that we do it, and therefore, at the end of the game, we've done more plays better than who we're going against, and that's kind of been the mindset that he's instilled in everybody.
And you dropping one over Amukamara on a deep pass to Julio Jones with time dwindling down for the score is definitely one play that leaps to mind about making plays when things are on the line. Another one was you in the end zone and throwing it up to Julio Jones. That may be the catch of the year where he tipped it to himself, Matt.
In my opinion, I mean, that's as good of a catch as I've seen. I mean, obviously, Odell Beckham has the catch last year, which is spectacular. But Julio's this year, I mean, in traffic, being able to go up and be as physical as he is, that's about as good as a catch as you'll ever see.
Oh, he just seems like he's taken it to another level, Matt. Is that just me sitting there seeing something on TV, just seeing him ball out, or is he the same guy in your estimation, Matt?
Well, I think it's been kind of a slow burn for him. He's continued to get better his entire career. And I think really last year, I mean, he started to play. He had some games last year that were just, he showcased how good he is. And I think he's only gotten better heading into this year. And so, I think he's at a point in his career where he's extremely confident. He understands just how good he is, but he also understands, what it takes in order for him to get ready. And he's in the sweet spot right now.
Yeah, 13 receptions, 135 yards last week as the Falcons improved to 2-0. And number 2, Matt Ryan, joining me here on the program. And obviously that 0 leaps out at you for good reason under the loss column. Another 0 that people are sort of talking about is that the receptions that Roddy White had in that victory. Is there anything awkward whenever that happens in a game like that where, or is the win the ultimate deodorant? Doesn't really matter, Matt?
Yeah, I think winning is ultimately, the most important thing. And in all honesty, I think winning is the most important thing for Roddy White. And, obviously he had a streak going for a long time. And, as a teammate, longtime teammate and a great friend and all that kind of stuff, you always want to see that keep going. But the way the game shook out, it's just the ball found other guys as we were going. But Roddy's going to be a huge part of what we do here all year. I mean, he has been for so long. He's been such a great player, and he still is. And it's just one of those games. The ball didn't find him, but he impacted the game in so many other ways. I mean, his run blocking and helping guys out, pulling coverage in certain spots was huge for us.
And, Schofield and Beasley appear to be as advertised for new additions to your defense, Matt. Have you been seeing that in practice as well?
Yeah, I kind of love the guys that we've brought in on the defensive side. I mean, Vic Beasley's been great. I mean, I knew it right from, the beginning of training camp. I mean, his speed off the edge is about as good as it gets, and I think he's only going to continue to get better for us. But O'Brien Schofield's been, a great pickup for us, just in terms of being solid against the run, adding depth to our defense, and being that kind of guy to be a leader and to show what it takes. to get it done. He's been around success in his career, and I think it's good anytime you can add a guy like that to your team.
And of course, when you're 2-0 and you've got guys on both sides of the ball making plays and special teams as well, the expectations level rise. And with that, now you go into Dallas, and they're supposed to be completely done because there's no Romo, there's no Dez, and you're expected to win in that regard. Matt, I'm sure you're hearing that out of the paparazzi already this week. That narrative has reached your ears, correct, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of every week is like that. Everybody's crowned kind of the winner of last week, and depending on how things go, I've been around long enough to know that all that kind of stuff doesn't matter. What's important for us is to make sure that we've got, a really great week of preparation, and that we're on top of our plan, and we know what we've got to do when we get down to Dallas in order to win. And so it doesn't matter, who lines up for them. They're always well coached, and they're always tough and physical, and we've got to be ready to go for 4 quarters.
I like that, crowned the winner of the week. That's good. It is a week-to-week league, don't you think, Matt?
I mean, it is. I mean, the NFL is so popular right now that every week it's just. I mean, people form opinions very quickly, and that's kind of what makes it so exciting is people are so into it. But from a player's perspective, you have to stay even keeled, and you can't get caught up in the noise, whether it be good or bad. Mm-hmm. You kind of just have to stay level-headed, keep your head down, and keep working.
Matt Ryan joining me here on the program. Our guest prior to you was Bill Parcells, Matt. And I'm wondering if at any point over the last several years in a quiet moment, you've thought, what would have happened had Parcells not chosen Jake Long and had chosen me instead, and what your career might be like? Have you ever thought about any of that, Matt?
Not really, not too much, or at all, really. I mean, I ended up in Atlanta, and you got enough on your plate playing quarterback in this league to worry about what it would have been like in a different place.
Sure.
But it is interesting, now to have Jake Long as a teammate. I mean, from that 2008 draft, and he'd been the number 1 pick, and now he's here in Atlanta. It's cool to kind of get to see him again. I trained with him coming out of college and got to know him through the draft process, and kind of have always, followed his career from afar. But it's cool to be able to be teammates with him now, and it's great. I think it's great he's in our building.
It's amazing how things come around like that. I mean, it's a small world, and certainly football's an even smaller world. What was Parcells like during that process, Matt? I mean, did you have any particular meetings with him going over film? What was he like in that draft evaluation process back in 2008?
Yeah, coming out, I didn't really spend any time with Bill Parcells.
No kidding.
It was mostly Jeff Ireland at the time, and Tony Sperano, and mostly those guys. David Lee, I think, was the quarterback coach at the time there, and so most of the time was spent, with those guys and getting to know them. And Dan Henning, was the offensive coordinator. So I didn't really meet Bill throughout that entire process.
That's incredible. I would not have guessed that. And so, it's interesting you say how it's difficult to play quarterback in this league. And we talk about it all the time on this show, and certainly on NFL Network with the guys up there, about how, this league is so high-powered and it's so quarterback-driven, and yet they cannot find seemingly 64 guys to fill out the position 1 and 2 to the, where everybody may even have the same amount of talent. Why is it so difficult to play quarterback in this league, Matt?
Well, I think there's a lot that goes with it. First and foremost, on the field, I mean, there's so many great players at all positions across the board, and I think there's so many great players on the defensive line really now. That pass rush, I think is probably as good as it's ever been, and so I think that's one thing. But the amount of extracurricular that goes with it sometimes makes it a little more difficult, and I think guys that can compartmentalize it well end up doing well at this position, and I think that's something that's helped me out.
Okay. Well, look, I really appreciate you calling in. Do I still have the green light to make my nickname for you?
You got to keep it going, man. You are
sure?
pushing it hard for the Matt roll.
Are you? I am. I want to be different than the Matty Ices of the world. I want to go natural, and I want to, I have this platform now. I'm celebrating my 1-year anniversary in about 2 weeks' time. It's getting bigger every time, Matt. I mean, if you give me the green light, I'm going to do it, despite the
I always give you the green light. If you can get it done, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, but I know you seem to be begrudging about it sometimes, though. I want to make sure you really do, that you're not just humoring me because you're a nice guy.
No, it's the green light. I'm telling you. I'm just saying there are a lot of Matty Ice loyalists. People really do like that name as well.
Oh my gosh, the reaction I get on Twitter, it's like, stop it. Like we want no part of that. Like I'm offending them and their entire lineage. It's the truth.
I hear you.
Okay, so as long as I've got the green light to go natural for you, the natural for Matt Ryan, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pound the table. Okay.
I love it.
Thanks. Good luck in Dallas, and let's chat down the line.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Rich.
You bet. Same here. That's Matt Ryan at M_Ryan02.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.